Hey everybody, it's me Roger Aladdin Daltrey and I'm doing a quick video today, and this is a bit of a different video for me today, as you guys can tell, because I didn't want to do this video yesterday because I only just found out last night, but this is just a quick video just to say a big thank you to a wonderful musician who tragically died yesterday, that being Tom Petty. And you know, now Tom Petty was an amazing musician. To me, he's one of the greatest songwriters ever of all time. He's up there with Bob Dylan, he's up there with Paul Stanley, and he's up there with David Bowie, and he's even up there with Leonard Cohen, Paul Simon, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, and quite possibly Lou Reed. So this is just a tribute video to Tom Petty in honor of his passing. Now, when I found out about his death, I literally was just affected because I loved the Traveling Wilburys. Because I loved Bob Dylan, I loved Bob Dylan, Jeff Lynne from Electric Light Orchestra, and you can even see me do a video of that on this same channel right here. And I loved Roy Orbison and I loved George Harrison because I am a huge Beatles fan, and I'm a big fan of Electric Light Orchestra. So now, it is a bit difficult for me to talk about because I do consider myself as a big Tom Petty fan, although I'm not all the way complete on my album collection. However, these are the only albums I have by him, so I don't have everything by Tom Petty yet. Although I was only a big fan of Petty up as far as the Wildflowers album, because when Stan Lynch left, I kind of lost interest in him, but I didn't. But that still didn't necessarily mean I wasn't a fan anymore. It's just I would have stopped buying his albums up until Wildflowers. But the ones I do have include his debut album, simply entitled Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This is a good album, by the way. I love the song American Girl. That was a big hit. And that was actually the last track that he played at his last concert. I love Rockin' Around With You, and I love Breakdown because I love the guitar playing by Mike Campbell, and all you can hear is just drums by Stan Lynch at the beginning. And I especially love anything that's rock and roll. Just a great opening. Tom Petty's vocals are mint on that. Then I got You're Gonna Get It. A great album cover, I really do like it. And this album came out on the exact same day as Bruce Springsteen's Dark on the Edge of Town, and the second solo album of Peter Gabriel, commonly known as Scratch or Peter Gabriel 2, or as I call it, the Red Album, because it has a red insert on it. What do I like on here? I like When the Time Comes in the title track, and possibly Magnolia. Then I've got one of the best albums ever of all time. This has always been a special record to me. I think this was the first Tom Petty record I bought, and it was the first album that I ever knew by him. That being Damn the Torpedoes. I love Refugee and Here Comes My Girl. And I even like Century City with great sound effects and then Stan Lynch's drumming. Sounds amazing. I love the keyboard playing on Refugee by Mr. Ben Montench. And as I said, on this Green Day song Fashion Victim, Ben Montench did backing vocals on that. And it's a great record. This is a great album. I really do enjoy this. I do play this a lot. Then I got Hard Promises, which of course has the big hit single The Waiting. And this is really good because this was actually a different album cover. This is the one where he's in a record store and there was a different one where you could just see a face of him on the front. That's pretty cool. Because then after that, the original bass player Ron Blair left, and then he was replaced by Howie Epstein, and then next came Long After Dark. I actually got this in the mail today, but I never listened to this yet, so I can't actually give my opinion on it. I will have to listen to it soon. But I heard a bit of an opening of A One Story Town, and it sounds great. Great opening riff. And the band looks very cool. They do look particularly astute. Then, of course, I have Southern Accents. A great album. I love the song Rebels. And around this time, that was when Petty was doing tour with Bob Dylan. And I remember hearing Tom Petty saying that Bob Dylan is the only artist he would ever do a backing band for. And the first time I ever knew Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers was them performing at the Bob Dylan 30th anniversary concert where they did License to Kill and Rainy Day Women, and they were introduced by Neil Young. And Neil Young is another songwriter who's up there for me with all the other great songwriters that I've mentioned so far. Then I don't have the Let Me Up I Had Enough album. I will need to get that on CD soon. But I do have the classic Full Moon Fever. Oh god, this is just a great record. Free Falling, Won't Back Down, great songs. They were the first Tom Petty songs I ever heard. I think it was Won't Back Down. Love is a Long Road is a really good tune, and A Face in the Crowd is pretty good, and I love Running Down a Dream, and I heard that was a major rip-off to the AC/DC song Hola Rosie, which comes off that. I think it's from Let There Be Rock or else Powerage, and I know that was during the Bon Scott era, who unfortunately left us far, far too soon. And then I do like his cover of Feel a Whole Lot Better by the Byrds. And as a matter of fact, Mike Campbell does do guitar on this for most of the songs, and even Jeff Lynne played on all these songs as well. And George Harrison did some contribution to this record, and Roy Orbison did backing vocals on Zombie Sue, which unfortunately he tragically died prior to the record's release. Bob Dylan didn't contribute on this because he was busy doing the All Mercy record, which I was listening to the other day, and it was so great. Because this album is very Traveling Wilburys sounding. And in the Traveling Wilburys, Petty sang on Last Night, and he sang the main verses in End of a Line. And as you can see in the video, you can see that when it was Roy Orbison's vocals, it had his rocking chair and his guitar there because he apparently died before they were shooting the video. And I think he sang, and then he sang a couple of tracks on the Volume 3 record, like the Devil's Been Busy, and a couple of other ones. That was in 1990. So yeah, I just love this one. Stan Lynch isn't on this because he felt he would be in a cover band otherwise, and I don't think he likes being in cover bands. So that is that for you. And then the last Tom Petty album that I have, and this was kind of the last album with the Heartbreakers that I really truly loved, and that is Into the Great Wide Open from 1991. I absolutely love Learning to Fly. It's just great. I love King's Highway. It's even the song title in the third Cars 3 movie. The title track, Into the Great Wide Open, is brilliant, but what I love most in this album is the song Two Gunslingers. Absolutely one of my favourite songs ever of all time. And I do like All or Nothing as well. Not like All or Nothing at All by Bruce Springsteen from Human Touch. And there are some other good ones on here. So that's pretty cool. So that's all the CDs I have on Tom Petty. And then there is the Wildflowers album, which I still have to get. I might probably go for the other records, but I don't know if I will. But I might listen to them online, because this is just it's really, really, really sad to see that Tom Petty is not with us anymore. It really is. Like, you just kind of look at these album covers now, and for a while they won't sound interesting to you, but then once you get over his death, you'll be able to experience him a lot more. And I also forgot to say that Tom Petty did do some contribution to Roy Orbison's Mystery Girl, which has a song written by the U2 duo of Bono and The Edge, during which was its title track, She's a Mystery to Me. And you know, Petty was now the third member of the Traveling Wilburys to die, because the first one was Roy Orbison, who died in 1988, then it was George Harrison in 2001, and now it's Tom Petty in 2017. So there's only two members left now, only Bob Dylan and Jeff Lynne. I just don't know. This is actually one of the biggest music deaths that ever happened to me. I know one of them was Leonard Cohen, but I forgot to do a tribute video that day because I was really upset to do a video, because Leonard was one of my biggest heroes. But when his anniversary comes on the 7th or 10th of November, I'll do a tribute video for him, and maybe at the same time I'll do a Leonard Cohen discography review. And I I had some other music acts, like Lou Reed was one of them, and I never really got to. And I think the first biggest music death that ever happened to me was Davy Jones of the Monkees, and I was kind of too young to witness the death of Joey Ramone because I was only 3 at that time. I was also too young to witness George Harrison. I was also too young to witness Johnny Cash, and that's about it. And then maybe for singers who died before I was born, one of them was probably Freddie Mercury of Queen, who died in 1991, the same day as Eric Carr from Kiss. And another thing that has really, and there has been other, yes, back in the 70s there was Paul Williams of the Temptations, and just a couple of other things for you. I remember the funniest thing was I had a great conversation with my dad about the Wilburys, and when I kept saying that Petty was best, he would keep saying the worst Wilbury, and I said no, he's not, because he kind of. But I do agree, Petty has a good singing voice, and he even got to appear as a guest character in the Simpsons episode How I Spent My Summer Vacation, and he appears with 500 musicians, including Elvis Costello, Lenny Kravitz, Brian Setzer from Stray Cats, and then of course Mick Jagger and Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones. I don't know what I know it was in like 2002 or 2003 when that happened. So I think it was around the time of the Rolling Stones compilation 40 Licks. So just 2 years before they were doing the A Bigger Bang album. So that's all I really have to say about Tom Petty. He was a great musician, great performer, great singer. Rest in peace, Tom Petty. Thanks for the memories. Bye.